Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called Enter Your Creativity Chrysalis. Transform pain into art, reveal your inner mythology, and open your creative genius through a soul art experience. My name is Stephen Dine. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network. And in recent years, we've really been going deeper into creativity and self-expression as a way to awaken, heal, and really give our greatest gifts. And it's not only fun, it's also very effective at doing so. We're going to explore some of the frontiers of soul art and how creativity can be a catalyst for your transformation with Laura Hollick. She's an artist, she's a creator of the Soul Art work and founder of Soul Art Studio Incorporated. And if you're excited by today, we're going to have a brand new program with her called Your Creativity Chrysalis that we're super excited about and we'll share more about towards the end of the hour. And the last thing I'll say is Laura's got, I think, the best costume outfit for any intro event that we've ever done. So welcome, Laura, and
Hey.
thank you for going all in on really working with the theme here today.
I'm super excited and eager to dive into the transformational potential for today.
Yeah. Well, let's start with a little bit of your backstory as an artist or transformational catalyst through art. So let's hear a little bit about what led you on this path.
hmm Well, when I think back to my childhood, it was a time when I felt quite confused actually coming into this world, kind of like, wow, where's my home? There's almost a sense of a bit of a disconnect. And one of the ways that I started to deal with that feeling, which I didn't even fully understand at the time, was I just retreated into my imagination. And I would spend a lot of time just sitting in nature or, in the house, in my room, in the basement, and just going into this realm that felt like home to me. And I would spend as much time as possible in this realm. And there was one day where I was introduced to art as a child. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, you mean you can make your imagination real? And it just opened this door for me because my imagination felt like home to me. And if I could make it, I could create it, I could create a home for myself. And so in my life, I really use that as a tool to kind of ground and land. And then life goes on, and then high school happens. And in high school, I got acne. And this was quite traumatic to me because, I wanted to feel beautiful. I wanted to feel like I could connect with people, but it brought up that same feeling that I had where like that disconnect, that sense of like, wow, like I got to retreat. I've got to like hide somewhere. And, so I got deeper into my art, which was great. I also got into dancing. I got into like connecting with my body and went through school, went to university for fine arts. And when I came out of that, I still had the acne and I was like still coping with this feeling of that disconnect. And the acne was almost like a metaphor in a way. It was like a wall between my inner world and the outer world. And there was this one day I was in my studio after I graduated. I got a little studio and I was just like figuring out what I was going to work on that day. And I put a board on the floor. Actually, I'd love to share a video. I actually have, I
Let's
can
do it.
show this. I'm going to talk
Oh,
about. And this is really how the soul art work came to be. This is a very special moment for me. So I want to share this video of what happened. I put this board on the floor and basically I was like stretching my legs one out on either side. And I started to like kind of admire them and just sort of like I'm stretching, enjoying myself. And I decided to trace my legs. I just like, it was just intuitive. I wasn't like planning anything. I just started to trace them. And here we go. Started to trace my legs. So I had my legs open and then I had my legs closed. And then I got up and I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, I am going to make some art with this. And I played around and then this shape of my body turned into this red bird. And
whoa.
it was like this huge revelation to me. And then I started tracing all these parts of my body, and there was like that world, that realm was inside of me. And it just like was all coming through. And I had this feeling if I could travel into this art, if I could get into this inner world, this body of mine, I felt like I could heal my skin. And it became this wild kind of pursuit of mine. And I did actually clear my skin. And what had happened was going into the art, going into the body, it's like I connected with my soul. I connected with what was this realm that was always there, but I had a way to almost communicate with it, to get information. And so the art that I was making was not only like healing me, but it was like realigning me with who I am within my body. And so it's almost like this magical realm was inside of me, but I was able to almost align like a cellular
Hmm.
body aspect through the art process.
It's
So
kind of like a
that
like
was a
chiropractic of your soul, like getting everything kind of lined
totally,
up. That's really cool.
totally. It is so cool. And, I think of it sometimes like when I'm making art, I feel like it is Reiki that I'm doing like energy work, especially when I'm doing body mapping, which is something we're going to be playing with today. When I'm doing body mapping, I literally do feel like it's like doing Reiki on myself when I'm working on a piece. And it's absolutely phenomenal. So in my journey, there was like really a wound of a disconnection, almost like kind of my soul feeling a bit homeless or not knowing how to fully be here. And the art became this process to connect with it. And there's actually one more video that I want to share because when I was traveling into this inner world and I was working with collage at the time, it was a way to kind of see it, but then I actually wanted to embody it. And so where my art developed from that, that's the art that I want to share with you. I ended up really traveling around the world and doing these very elaborate creative photo shoots where I would become these elements really of this inner world and make the sculptures and it just became an entire art practice, an embodiment, a soul embodiment practice with costumes and this huge rainbow carpet. And I'd spend years working on pieces and just creating that soul realm in this realm. It
Wow.
often feels like I am kind of bringing like soul frequencies into the planet through the art expressions and through embodying the feelings and the characters and the elements from this inner realm. So
Wow.
these
What
are
an amazing
these
set of
are
images. I mean, you could really feel that sort of that manifestation of this technicolor frequency of the soul into manifest reality. I mean, it's amazing.
totally, yeah,
And you
thank
definitely
you.
have kind of a rainbow theme is definitely very, 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 very common here.
Yeah, good eye. Exactly. Yeah. And it ended up being like just like full frequency. And really in the journey of all that, and I'm in butterfly mode today because really the whole process of it going into the art, it is a transformation. For myself and what I guide is accessing, connecting with the soul through ourself, not leaving ourself, going deep into our own body. And the transformation is when the soul becomes embodied. It reveals our next expression. It gives us information, answers to questions. It opens doors for things that maybe there's no logical solution to it. Like the acne, doctors didn't know what to do. People didn't know how to help me in that, but our soul has information.
Mm.
And so it is a very transformational process to connect with that and then express that.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's been this journey that I've been on.
I love that, and it's really clear that sort of like when as you talk about it, that it's like the embodiment piece is there's not the same kind of wall between art and artists or something. That it's like you are woven with your art in a deeper way in this process.
Totally. Yeah, I love that you said that. I think about, I think we are the art. Right? Like when
Mm.
we're here we're here in this reality. Like we are the art. Our life is our soul's art. And really, when I think of what is the artist of the future, because with AI, it brings up a lot of questions. What is art? If AI could create 20 paintings in 10 seconds or something, well, what is art? And I feel like art is connecting with like creator life force energy and
Mm.
having that move through us. And we all have a unique soul. We have a unique expression to who we are. And as that creator energy comes through us, like we really are the art. It is our life that becomes the art. Maybe we make a sculpture, we make something, but really it's like we are getting that upgrade of the frequency of creator life force energy coming through us. So yeah, like it is like
I love
becoming.
that. I completely resonate with that. I tend to more focus on words and poetry and letting other kinds of creative expression sort of flow through. But it's like that shifting your identity to become the creator into an embodied form. That's really beautiful. I want to ask a little bit more about the whole body mapping portion
Yeah.
of this and how you sort of by weaving your own geometry into a painting, like how does that act, or a painting or a work of art, how does that actually
Mhm.
shift our relationship with it?
I think a couple of things happen. And this isn't something I knew going into it. Like it's something that literally unfolded over years. But, art often, or even writing, it's sort of like something outside of you. Like it's, it's coming through you, but you make an object or you write a story and then this thing is there. With the body mapping, it's like we're literally it's us. Like the thing it's through us and there's a direct connection. And I think what's so powerful on the embodiment level is that typically with creativity, it can really open the channel, right? Like I think if you're writing or you're doing something that, you're getting downloads, you're getting insights, your channel's open. But ultimately, we want that to come through us. We want to feel our life get that upgrade of all that energy. And so the body mapping is very grounding because it keeps the root of like, where is this energy? It's like moving through you. And so I think that's one thing that's very different as a creative practice. Often people can kind of really go out in their imagination, which is something I did as a kid. It's like really in my imagination, I could be very disembodied in that state. And it's a beautiful state to be in, it's quite blissful. But what the acne really taught me is like how to get more in the body and bring that magical energy into the body. So it's really grounding. It really combines like mass opening spiritual energy with like a real physical human body experience.
Hmm. I want to ask a little bit about the whole definition of artists, and so a lot of times people get hung up as saying, "Oh, I'm not an artist," or that they haven't felt like they've developed the skills, and so we share a little bit about why that can be, unnecessarily limiting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that everything has its place, right? So if someone's working on a certain thing and you need skill to do it, then that's great. But to be creative, you don't need anything other than your own presence to be creative. Like a child is creative, like they don't necessarily have any skills, but they have their imagination, they have the curiosity, they have presence. So that creative energy can move through them. So skill or technique isn't a limitation to being creative, right? I think a lot of that becomes our belief systems, which I understand. It's like maybe someone said, "Oh, you're not very good at this," or, I have that a bit with singing. Like I feel like I don't think I'm a good singer, but yes, I can sing, but and so we get these belief systems that kind of rob us of the opportunity just to get into the flow and see what magic wants to come through. So in soul art practices, we really, the only thing you need to do it is the desire, the curiosity. And there are people who do have a lot of skill, like, master level artists that will work with these ideas to take themselves further and ground things more. And then there's some people, yeah, it is, they're scared of drawing to stick figures, like, oh gosh, I don't want anyone to see this. What's it going to look like? Who's going to judge it? And those are things that, some kindness can come to that. So, being kind and compassionate with yourself and whatever you feel around it, but it's no limitation to your creativity. Like your creative, other than the belief can maybe stop it, but it doesn't stop that you have it. Doesn't stop that you have it. And
Hmm.
so in this, it's like wherever someone's starting from, it's like you can connect with your soul. You can get a message from your soul. You can feel that creative energy moving through you, right? Whatever skill level someone is starting with.
I think this is a natural segue into this concept of creativity doors, which I love, and that you sort of maybe share a little bit about what you mean by creativity doors and how you can kind of develop these entry points.
Yeah, like we all have a unique way to get into that zone. And that's half of the journey as an artist, a creator, someone who wants to work with like life force energy, finding your way into that. And so I call that creativity doors. Like, what are the ways in? And there's so many ways. Like, I mean, it could be just going for a walk in nature opens the flow. It could be taking a shower opens the flow, right? Like, whatever it is. And in the soul art work, we have a lot of different creativity doors that we play with. Body mapping is one of them. Having sort of a way to enter that point where you can open your creativity. So we're going to play with one of them today. And, but really it is, and I play with the different ones all the time, but I've got my go-to that I know, like guaranteed, like, okay, I'm going to open the flow with that. And then I like to exercise myself and like try a different angle and like, okay, can I access this through this other door? But I think for any artist, any creator, you want to stay like flexible and fluid with that. So you're not like getting rigid with it, but you have ways to enter your flow. So
Hmm.
that's what a creativity door is, like the door in. It can be like a labyrinth. It can be different things, learning how to travel that, learning how to map that. It's like there's an anatomy of creativity, anatomy of your own creative life force energy,
Hmm.
and learning about it, understanding it so that you can work with it as you desire to.
Hmm. Can you give an example of somebody who found kind of a surprising creativity door that they hadn't realized that they even had, like from somebody you've worked with?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I think people are always surprised. Like it's almost like just doing something like super simple. Like it could even be like combining colors. It could be suddenly like allowing your wound to have a voice. Your wound having a voice, giving it like an identity in a sense. It can almost open a door. Whereas a lot of people maybe push away like something that's difficult because they don't really know how to relate to it. But a creativity door could be just having a way to relate to it. And suddenly it's no longer a big block. It's actually an entry point. And so there's just so many ways to kind of almost surprise ourselves. And this is where curiosity comes in, where you're just like, when you're open to trying something, it could be your creativity door. I mean, when I think of people, there's so many. I'm almost getting like a waterfall right now of examples. So I hope you can try one and see if it surprises people today of what it opens for them.
Yeah,
And we
so
will be using actually in terms of like what we're going to play with, we are going to use a little bit of markers or pens, paper. With those tools, that in itself can be a creativity door, just to start to have those ready to go.
great. Well, I've got my pen and
You got
paper
your
here. So I encourage other people to grab one if you haven't at the moment. And yeah, so why don't we enter into a little bit of an experiential time where we get to taste more of the soul art body mapping work?
Awesome, awesome. So, like I said, so have some tools ready to go so that you can play. I've got like a bin of markers, which I love, but even a pen is fine, and whatever paper you've got. And so, a way to begin this is I'm gonna share like how I started, the story that I shared around how I started with, I had acne. I desperately wanted to heal and clear, and not even just heal, like just get rid of it. Like I just wanted it gone. I wanted healing for that purpose. I wanted to feel beautiful. And so what I'd like to start this process with is any body situation that someone or a pain, it could be emotional, physical, mental, something that is a struggle, a challenge that you would love to budge it somehow. You would love an insight, a revelation. You'd love your soul to give you some message on that. And I'd like you to think about what that is. Like if there's a question that you have, like for me, it would have been, how do I heal this acne? In fact, I didn't even ask the question. It was just like, I just say clear skin. It's like, I just wanted clear skin. Any message you have on that, I'm ready for it. So I'd like for all of us, and I'm going to do this too, to think about something you want to get a soul message about. If you're dealing with a struggle, you've got a challenge, something, you've got a pain, you've got a mystery symptom, something going on, and just take a moment and write down something either you have a question about, something you're working on. And it's okay if it's something difficult, like that's great. So that's the kind of thing you really want guidance on. Okay, so take a moment, just writing that down. This is going to be your intention. And we're starting the process. This is a type of a creativity door as well. Just having an intention starts to direct a process. Okay. All right. So have that written down so you know what it is. Okay. So now you've brought something up. Now you've got it written down so you don't have to think anything about it. It's there for you. We'll come back to it at the end of the process. Now, as you've brought up whatever that thing is for you, I want you to take a moment and just kind of, you can close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. And just doing a body scan with your energy. And just notice if there's any part of your body that is calling for your attention. Maybe you even stated something about your body. So maybe that's getting your attention. And just taking a breath and just noticing how your body is. And if there is a spot in your body that's calling to you, and I invite you to go to wherever that might be. Okay. And just putting your hand on whatever that spot is. And you're going to trace, just like in the video I showed in the beginning, you're going to trace that area of your body. And so if you have an organ, that's okay. You can just, estimate where it is. For me, it was my thigh. So I'm just going to like actually trace my thigh onto a piece of paper. Okay. And I'll just hold it up. It's like very simple. I put my leg there. I just traced it. It really doesn't have to look fantastic. It's more symbolic that you are going to be focusing on this part of your body for this process. Okay. All right. So you have that page. You can just like, if you've got it, turn the page in the journal, just keep that there. But we're going to do a little process to see how you want to play with that area in your body. Okay. So I'm going to say a topic, and the first thing that comes to mind, you don't have to think too much about, just whatever pops up. There's no right or wrong. We'll have a little speed to this. So it's not so much about thinking it through. It's just like allowing yourself to just what comes up, bit of intuition. So I'll say a topic, and I want you to write down whatever comes up around that topic. All right. So the first one is a childhood memory. A childhood memory. All right. So take a moment, write down whatever comes up. Okay. And if you do have markers or whatever tools you're playing with, a pen is fine. I want you to create a symbol or an energy that somehow expresses that. So, for example, what I wrote down was playing in nature. That was just the first memory that popped up. So I'm going to do a little sketch, so simple, but just some nature, like some leaves and flowers. Okay, so anything, it could even be an energy, like it felt warm. You're at the beach and warm. Maybe it's like just a warmth. So maybe a yellow circle. Something super simple, a symbol, a shape, an expression of any kind. No one else needs to know what it is. Doesn't need to even make sense. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do another topic. Same idea. I'm gonna say a topic. You're gonna say like whatever the first thing that comes up, write it down. So this is a future dream. A future dream. Whatever comes up for you. Just write that down. And then again, you're going to create some kind of an expression, a symbol, a shape, a squiggle, something that to you means whatever that was that you wrote down. All right, we're going to keep going. There's another one, another topic, and this is a current challenge that you are dealing with. A current challenge, whatever comes to mind, you write that down. And then again, any symbol connected to that that feels like it expresses it. Okay. All right, we're going to keep going. We're like, if you want to think of it like a creativity door, we're starting to travel. Maybe there's a little bumpy spot over there. Maybe it's smooth sailing. Just keep flowing with it. Whatever comes up, just allow it to be there. It's okay. And it'll be part of your process. All right. So now with each of those three things that you got, I want you to just pick one word, one word. So for example, the first thing that I was childhood memory, I had playing in nature and I drew a little flower. So now my one word, I'm going to say flower. Okay. So you're looking at your art, your expression, your symbol, and you're just giving one word that expresses that and writing it down. And she'll do that for all three of those things. And you don't even need to remember what the topic was. You're just looking at what your art is. And maybe it's like a blob of color. Then you could say blob as your one word. You don't need to have it logically make sense to the topic. Okay. So there should be three words that you've got at this point. Have you got three words, Stephen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. All right. So now we're going to play a little game. And what we're going to do is we're going to write stream of consciousness for a minute or just under a minute. So there's not time to think about it. And there's a reason for that. It's not to stress us out like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. It's more like, so we can't think. We just got to let go. So you're going to have, and I'll tell you when to start. So you've got that just under a minute to do it. And using your three words, whatever you just wrote, are somehow going to be included in your stream of consciousness. And you're going to start with whatever your first word was. So for me, mine was flower. All right. So you're using stream of consciousness. Somehow you're just going to include all those words. It doesn't need to make sense. Okay. And you'll have just under a minute to do it. All right. And you can begin. Okay. Making sure you get all three of your words in there. All right, once you got them all in there, awesome. Now, whatever came up there, probably some kind of like, could be a story, a poem, a list, whatever it was. I want you to go back to your body mapping shape that you had, and I want you to put whatever symbol or expression could express that particular story that just flowed through. I want you to make a symbol, shapes, colors, lines, and just see how they can fit into the space of that part of the body. And we'll have just under a minute to play with that. All right, you can keep going with that. And that's the kind of thing you can really play with a lot. I'm sure they can get more and more elaborate for sure. And just reflect back on whatever came through with your art aspect of that, reflecting back on what you wrote in the beginning. What was a question that you had or the thing that you wanted to get it some kind of message from your soul with? And just see how whatever came through, if there's a clue for you about that. And we'll let that be. You can play with that. You can sit with that. And sometimes, when I do a piece, I get an immediate like, oh, I got a little spark of an idea of I understand something. And sometimes I have to like look at it for a while. I'm like, I don't know. If that's the case, and even if you got a little message or you're like sitting with it, we did this very quickly. Put your piece up somewhere where you can see throughout the day and just see what it starts to say to you and see what messages want to come through.
Well, what a cool process. Thank you, Laura. That was
Did you
really,
want to share anything, Stephen, of
yeah.
what came through for you?
Well, I mean, I guess I can. I've had a bit of a dad belly here that's just been somewhat resistant to reduction. And so I just put slim belly and I ended up with a sort of the phrase with nourishment flows from the divine, expresses in devotion that mirrors the beauty and radiance of creator danced into being through men and women. And then I just was kind of I was
Wow.
like there was sort of like filling in that quality. So it's like this sense of felt like it's like, oh, it's like there's like a missing thing that was kind of connected. My brother came like 14 months after me, and so it's like I kind of cut off breastfeeding kind of early, and there's like
Oh,
thing that's like this kind of deeper nourishment that's like getting enacted there, and it just felt like it kind of went to deeper levels of it, and just kind of seeing that it's like, oh, this is like kind of a it's a way that I'm sort of like nourishing myself with food rather than sort of like the deeper divine current that is yeah underneath that. So
yeah, I hear that. It's so interesting because it sounds like the deeper nourishment is really being like nourished by like the divine mother, the divine
yeah,
feminine,
yeah,
and
it's
getting your fill before it's cut off, like getting your fill.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So had you connected the dots before, like with the
Not
body
all the
of that?
dots. I mean, I think there's pieces that were sort of, but it's sort of like, oh, what I hadn't got. I think some of it was a little conceptual, and
Yeah.
so also I hadn't kind of linked it all like, oh, how do I kind of fill in that energy versus in some ways is sort of like it's a little bit like, oh, I just need to work out more or something. And it's sort of versus like, oh, what's the spiritual message in that I haven't really sort of fully integrated, if you will.
Right, right. And so, yeah, that I think that that's actually really profound. So what happens, and this is what is so magical to me, and I think is just so profound and has created massive healing for me as well as for many other people, is that when we hear something from our soul, like what you described, like there's like a deeper communication. It almost is poetic, right? Like it's like it doesn't speak in just sort of how we might. It's this other frequency resonance, and then our journey is sort of receiving that and then integrating that into our life because it's almost like, well, so how I might hear what you said if that was me, I'd be like, okay, so for me to work with this belly, I need to be nourished deeply, like, and that food is definitely a layer of it, but like there's a deeper nourishment that your body's asking for.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, okay, I now see what I could do to help myself because it's like I could explore that. I can
Yeah.
see where I
Going to
can
the more
receive
like
that.
the core level versus the surface level. Yeah.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. I can just share a little bit
But
of
yeah, why don't
what
you share? I was
through
going
for
to ask
me.
you since I kind of had to open up mine.
Thank you for doing that. And it can almost be very vulnerable because like it's deep. It seems super simple, but honestly, like where it goes to is it blows my mind every time. So I have this like clench in my thigh. Okay, like it just like it goes into this clench. And so I was like, okay, let's see what communication wants to come through. So I had done my leg and then the flowers from my childhood memory, they started to weave into, they came into the story somehow. And as I was drawing them, it's almost like they were like, and it just said to me, it's like the veins of flowers move through me and let them flow. And it was just like, I don't know, there's something in that. It just felt like my leg just kind of, it's like, oh, it's actually like a flower is wanting to grow through there. Now,
Hmm.
of course, I understand logically there isn't a flower that's growing through my leg, but on a soul level, there, the imagination it has a way of understanding something that lets you kind of penetrate the surface.
Hmm.
And in that, it's like that's where a healing opening can happen. That's where a transformation can start to unfold. And, like when we go into the creativity, it is like going into a creativity chrysalis. When we go in with a devotion and an intention, something that we're wanting to create and birth of ourselves, and we can go in there and almost be like reshaped more in alignment with our soul,
Hmm.
and such a beautiful journey. So I loved that. And it's just like that was whatever amount of time that we were doing that, that's like a quick drop in,
Hmm.
just a quick drop in to get a little taste of that.
So how might you continue? How might people continue to build on that? So we all got a little taste, and so how might
Yeah, we
we
got a little
take
taste.
that
Well,
further?
we've got this course. We've got this course with the shift here, and that it's like that's where we go in deeper. With the immediate, I think putting whatever you created somewhere that you can see it, because it will start dropping through layers.
Hmm.
And now that you have actually a visual, you have that, like that's your art, and someone's like, well, I mean, it's not like there's any skill. Like, I mean, no one would know that I went to university for fine arts. You know what I mean? Like it isn't necessarily so much in this context, like what it looks like, but there's a communication. So having that somewhere that you can see, it'll start to drop deeper. But really, there's definitely a deeper journey that we can go on to really navigate the deeper layers of soul in the body, the deeper like crevices of, information that we can get and intelligence really we can open up of our soul opening within our life experience, within our challenges, within the things that we're struggling with. So there's deeper that we can go. And it's like that's a bigger container to dive into that.
Well, let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming course because this is
Yeah.
an amazing opportunity to do just that and to really go through this deeper soul work journey. through a very fun and illuminating kind of method. And so we're going to have this brand new program with Laura, and we're really blessed. It's called Your Creativity Chrysalis. Reveal your creative genius and express your higher self with Soul Art Body Mapping. So it's going to take some of the teachings that we were talking about today, a little glimpse, and really take it into a path of transformation, of awakening, of healing. And so you can find it laid out in detail at the URL soulartcourse.com, soulartcourse.com. It's a 7-week program. No background as an artist is necessary. It's really just if you're curious to explore art as a path for really healing, integrating parts of yourself, really opening to new dimensions of your soul and embodying that. Laura, I'd love for you to share in your own words some of your intentions of what people will come away with, and then let's you go through the program and give a sense of what you're going to be teaching.
For sure. You know, the underlying intention of this journey is really going in and getting the next level of your soul's expression coming through, right? And so there is a journey to go in, but ultimately it's like coming out, and it's like your butterfly era, right? Like it's like going through a deeper transformation to bring through the next level of your life, the next level of how you want to be yourself in this world, right? And we're at such a transformational time on the planet. It's like kind of the whole world's going through a transformation. And when we can go in consciously into that process and we can activate our creativity, we can have our soul be the guide of our, recreation, our rebirth of ourself. It's like bringing just more of who you are into this world. And whatever that may be for each of us, if we're working on career or our body or relationships, it's like, what's the next level expression for your life? So the intention in this is a transformational journey to connect with your soul, to awaken your creativity, and really feel like you, at the end of it, like you are revealing like a new expression, a new version of yourself. More you is coming through your butterfly era.
What a great set of intentions. Very beautiful. So module 1 is called Open the Portal of Your Creative Journey as you set an intention for the next 7 weeks and beyond.
Yeah, that is where we get clear on like, what is it really that you're working on? What do you want to do? What do you want to harvest the power of creative energy for? Right? Because we all have access to it, right? Like it's like there and it's like invisible. And naming your own desires, naming your questions, knowing what you're actually working on, where you feel you want to go. It doesn't mean you have the answers. It's like you have the desires, like, oh, I want the next level. Where am I going? What's next? How am I dealing with this thing? Or how do I want to deal with this, challenge that this relationship, whatever it is. The intention setting is getting crystal clear on what really matters to you. So you're focusing your creative energy for something very specific so that the journey is meaningful and purposeful. So that's in that first class. We'll be diving into that, really polishing the crystal of your values, what matters to you, setting up a container for the journey.
Module 2, map your inner world so you can hear what your body is telling you.
Yeah, that's where we go deep into the body mapping and doing like the whole body. We're going into the whole body. So we're beginning that. And actually, the whole journey will be going through the entire body. And we'll be doing them in parts. But in that module 2 is where we begin the mapping of the body. And then the further classes, we're going deeper into different aspects of the body. But yeah, that's the beginning, the mapping of it, which, again, it seems super simple. But it's so beautiful to actually spend time with your body and give it the space to just be, cherished and loved and having presence brought to it. So that is like being with it and getting to know where your body is maybe asking for attention as well, things that may want to be healed through the journey. Yeah.
Module 3, explore your creative origin story so you can get into your creative zone more easily.
This one, actually, Stephen, this one might be interesting for you. So in this one, we're actually going to be body mapping the belly button. And in this area, it's the really our connection, like how we were fed, right? We were fed through the umbilical cord initially. And so in this journey, in that class, we're going to be going through the imprint of your creation story. It's like your origin story, because it's the first point of receiving. And so we're going to be doing a whole creative process on your imprint of your origin story, but also your imprint of receiving. So we really start with that as the deeper into the art creative process, because the imprint someone has of receiving really sets up really how they will relate with their creative energy, how they will relate with the world, how they will relate in relationships. And so it's very powerful to see that, and also to really realign it with your soul's understanding of receiving and creation. So that in that class, that is very powerful. It is very powerful. Also, in terms of with the body too, getting to know your belly button and the belly area even more on the deeper soul level is pretty profound.
Very cool. Module 4 then goes into discover your soul's name to live your own legend and embrace the divine love that's expressed through you.
Yeah. So our soul has a name. It's not necessarily in English, but we're going to be doing a creative process to experience your soul's name through your expression. And maybe it will have an English version of that name, but it's getting the frequency and the resonance of your soul's essence and how that wants to be expressed really as like a name, as a way of understanding and identifying it.
Module 5, uncover your soul's path and purpose in this life as you explore your body's movement centers.
Yeah, so we're going to be body mapping the legs inside the areas how we move in this world, and going deeper in with the art and with different creativity doors to understand like what is the pathway of how your soul wants you to move in this world. And that can be translated into, some people think of that as what's their career path, but not necessarily. It could just be, how does your soul want to move in this world? And that can be, how do you want to be, but also what do you want to do? That can come through as well. So that's going to be very revealing and illuminating just really what your path is, what your path is.
Module 6, map your face to express and embody your soul's beauty.
I love this so much. Like our face is the point of like this communication. So we're going to be doing a deeper body mapping journey art process on really exploring our face and how your soul wants to express through your face. And a lot of healing in there, because our face, right, it's how we present to the world. And having been someone who's gone through acne, it's like the face can be very sensitive and confronting in a way to actually get into the deeper layers of that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful process. And, I would just add with that, just one of the classes, one of these modules is something that literally can completely like reorient your whole life. One of those classes. When we put them together like this and we do it as a full body map, it really is like a full, almost like a spiritual makeover, spiritual like realignment, right? Because like you're getting this whole energetic up leveling within your body and your life, and you're using your creative energy to move that through. So coming to the face, it's like kind of illuminating your soul through your face.
Mm, I love that. I also had acne in high school, pretty strong acne, so it's interesting that there's some parallels there, and I think that's really beautiful offering. So then we go into the next module, which is module 7. Read, decode, and translate your completed soul art piece into living guidance for your life.
Yeah. So it really is a full journey. Like each module can work as a process that you could do again and again, like just go deeper, deeper. As a full journey, you're going to be getting soul communication, learning how to decode your soul's language, getting the messages you need for that next level of your life, and letting your art really be an oracle. and how to read it, how to read the symbols that come through, just like what we were doing today. Like the symbols, your soul speaks in its unique language. Learning how to understand and decode that language gives you a way to really always access your intuition, always be able to kind of find what is the message for you within it. So really getting very skilled actually at how to understand your soul's language, and you'll be learning how to read your art and decode that.
Hmm. Well, what a fantastic program. It's really clear, like the depth to which you go with this. It's really unique and very powerful, and I think it's going to be a blast as well for people, as well as being deeply transformational. So again, the whole program is laid out in detail at soulartcourse.com, soulartcourse.com. Gone over the 7 modules, and then there also you get during those 7 modules, you have time to ask your questions live. You also get recordings of every session, both video and audio, as well as word for word transcripts. There are weekly practices for home. There is a community group to support you and build networks of connections around this. And on the page, you also see Laura's been very generous with adding a number of extra bonuses. There's a 90-minute art making video session called Your Purpose Portrait. You want to share more about your purpose portrait?
Yeah, that's getting an actual visual of your purpose from your soul's perspective. So we think about like vision boards a lot, where you sort of put pieces together, which is amazing. It's almost more of a constellation coming together, where you kind of see the whole picture of like your soul's desire for you in this life. So we go into a process. I use collage in that one, but you could use any medium. Collage is an easy
Hmm.
tool for that. And it's a guided process. You go through the whole thing together. It's beautiful.
That's really cool because so often we just associate purpose more with kind of words and sort of core, like to actually have a sort of more multi-dimensional way to depict that. Really beautiful.
Mhm.
Second bonus is called Seeing with Your Soul. This is a 90-minute art making video session that Laura's created. You want to share more about that too?
Yeah. They're really learning how to like look at whatever's going on and like seeing it from the soul perspective, and like learning how to literally see with your soul. So it just gives you this whatever's going on, another perspective on how to see what's going on. And that could even be within like world issues, right? It could be within anything, and your own life too. Things that maybe you feel like you're like totally like in lockdown with it, you're just like in it, but being able to see it from your soul's perspective.
Super cool. Then there's a 90-minute creative process video session. It's called Spirit Guide Art. So you've been a lot of
Yeah.
abundant bonuses here. I'm intrigued. Spirit Guide Art.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with spirit guides, we have spirit guides. There's many, and it is kind of like learning how to like sense them and feel like how they're available for you in different situations. So actually getting to know your own spirit guides and being able to build a relationship with them, really. And so the art process in that is like kind of getting into like, how do you sense them? And how are they helping you? And can you call upon them and building that relationship with them?
So cool. And as if that was not enough, we actually have a fourth bonus, which is very abundant. This one is a special bonus you get when you sign up by midnight tonight. So if you've been as excited by today as I think I've been, and I'm sure many others are, you're going to get a special bonus if you choose to move forward to today. It's called 7 Essential Soul Symbols. This is a 90-minute art making video session. It's a special bonus for today. Laura, you want to share more about 7 Essential Soul Symbols?
Hmm. Yeah, so we have different, like when you think about symbols, there's often someone will associate a symbol, oh, this means this, or, and then we think that that's what it is. Our soul has its own language. And so there's 7 of these essential symbols that we can work with for our life, but knowing what they are uniquely from our soul's perspective. So there could be like, what is your soul symbol, say, for money? What is your soul's symbol for health? And actually having something that you can work with, almost like having your own, maybe even like almost a talisman, like something that how you can relate to something. And then having that, it's like, it's amazing how it starts to pop up in different ways. It's like the universe starts working with you, communicating with you when these symbols are named and understood by you. Like you claim that as a communication tool with your soul, and it starts to actually communicate in your life. So it's very powerful to clarify really how your soul is speaking to you all the time, and to really feel like almost like a sense of like kind of working with the universe in a way. Like but you're working with it not from someone telling you what something is, but you revealing what something actually means. And then having that as your soul's communication, like this, when you see this, this is what this is communicating to you. So it's learning how to get those symbols from your soul that you will have for your life. You can work with that for your whole life.
Fantastic. What a great extra reason to sign up right away by midnight tonight Pacific time. So I strongly encourage you to go to the page at soulartcourse.com and give it a read. Tune in with your own body, mind, and soul. And really, if you get the nudge, you're in great hands, and you're, I think, going to have a really powerful, a healing and transformational adventure that's also filled with beauty and magic. So again, it's all at soulartcourse.com. We've kept the investment very accessible. It's just three payments of $128, or you save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start June 1st and run Mondays at 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. There's some great testimonials. I love that the first one is from like an Incan priestess, an exceptional visionary shamanic healer and inspirational leader through art who has a deep connection to the divine and spirit guides. Really cool. So many great testimonials from another Shift faculty, Shiloh McLeod. Laura Hollick is a legend who continues to surprise and delight me. So you're really in for a treat, and you're in great hands. And if you choose to move forward today, you're going to get 7 essential soul symbols as your extra bonus for signing up right away. So, Laura, what a delight you are, and I really appreciate the depth and the playfulness and the magic you bring to this subject. So, thank you for a great hour. And I also have my own inspiring shift, transformational soul art that I can continue to work with, and so I'm sure there's a lot of gratitude out there for today. So, thank you. And anything still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering doing your full course?
I just feel the pulse of this time, which is really the call of transforming into our next soul's expression on this planet. Almost like that is our service to the planet, the more that we get to really be ourselves. And it's not that that's an easy thing to do, even though it should be the easiest thing in the world, just be yourself. There's things to move through in that. And so when I think about our time that we're in and the idea of going into a creativity chrysalis, to have that sacred space to do a transformation, I'm super excited. I can't wait. I feel like this just meets the moment so beautifully to go into a creative process to really birth the next version of yourself. So I'm just feeling that excitement of it. And yeah, just excited to dive in with people and open up that next level of creativity, feel that flow, the waterfall flow of the divine creation energy moving through, and seeing what that wants to reveal and illuminate for each of us. So I can't wait. I can't wait to get started.
Beautiful. Thank you for your words of wisdom, your playful spirit, and the depth of today. So thank you, Laura, and thank you all for joining, and many blessings to you. And if you're called to go forward, again, it's all at soulartcourse.com, and you'll get that special bonus when you sign up by midnight tonight, which is the 7 essential soul symbols. So thank you so much.
Thank you.